was sparring. You know, it's the first time where we consistently had 7 or 8 guys in camp, living in camp, training with him day in day out.
I think it's still going to be dangerous. I'm actually quite worried.
I won't dwell on that too much. I want to do something completely different this time.
Anthony Joshua knocks out 4 sparring partners in one night, and it's not just brute strength. Hearn confirms the extreme difficulty in finding men who can match AJ's speed, power, and relentless pressure. Each knockout shows his tactical intelligence, timing, and ability to dominate even the most prepared opponents.
And I get involved with sparring, and you know, we select sparring partners between Rob McCracken and AJ's training team and AJ and me. And to find a 23 stone guy who moves fast, who has fast hands, who has a great engine, who forces the pressure, is very, very...
Inside sources reveal an astonishing night at AJ's gym. Anthony Joshua KO'd 4 sparring partners in a single session, each one struggling to even land a punch. Jake Paul, take note you wouldn't last a round. AJ's precision, power, and ring intelligence are on a whole different level. This is next level domination.
This is a real fight. And, you know, some people say, yeah, but is AJ going to go easy on him? No.
David Haye doesn't mince words. Jake Paul stepping in against AJ is like bringing a squirt gun to a hurricane. Joshua is a towering specimen, strength, speed, and knockout power stacked to perfection. Standing next to AJ, even Jake looks like he's in a different sport. This is not a fight, it's a warning.
Jake Paul can come 15-20% in regards to Anthony Joshua. He's a completely different specimen. Look, you'll see what it looks like when they stand.
Joe Rogan sums it up perfectly. This isn't just a fight, it's a spectacle of pure destruction. AJ's one-punch KO ability is legendary. Just ask Ngannou. Jake Paul stepping into this ring is like walking into a lion's cage. The risk is enormous, the outcome almost inevitable. AJ is on another level.
Fight.
Yeah.
Because Joshua's going to try to make an example out of him, for sure.
And will.
I mean, Anthony Joshua's one of the biggest one-punch KO artists. What he did to Francis Ngannou, good lord.
Yes.
Do you want that?
Duke McKenzie doesn't hold back. This is a walk in the park for AJ, a payday with minimal effort. Jake Paul, completely outmatched. One misstep and he could be heading straight to hospital. Joshua's size, power, and experience make him a nightmare in the ring. This isn't a fight, it's a masterclass in dominance. And Paul is the warning label.
He's his fight of his career. If he wants to get 100 million and not even break sweat, you know, you take the fight. Is it going to enhance his stock as the world's #1 contender? Not at all, because nobody's going to take Jake Paul seriously. But on the other hand, should I don't even want to play devil's advocate. What if Joshua hurts this guy, seriously hurts this guy, and puts this guy in hospital?
Chisora drops a bomb. Jake Paul's sparring setup is a complete joke. Knocked out repeatedly in training, he's barely surviving against partners who aren't world class. Meanwhile, AJ is perfecting his technique, his timing, and knockout power. The gap is monstrous. Jake Paul is out of his depth, and the boxing world is watching him flounder helplessly.
But he's got in his sparring camp. I personally don't believe that you can actually... The sparring partners he's got right now, they're pushing him to be menace.
Logan Paul confirms what everyone fears. Jake is no match for AJ. Ngannou, a massive undefeated fighter, went out cold in minutes. Jake Paul stepping in is lunacy. Joshua's power, precision, and ring IQ would erase every ounce of Paul's confidence instantly. This isn't hype, it's a reality check. AJ is a real-life nightmare for anyone underestimating him.
The Joshua thing is crazy.
Is that a real conversation?
Jake's a fucking lunatic, and it's probably real. I saw Joshua knock out Francis Ngannou, and the guy was like out cold for 5 minutes. And this is a guy who had never been knocked down, let alone knocked out.
If he steps in the ring with him, and actually a bell rings and there are punches thrown, every bit of Jake Paul is not a real boxer conversation is gone forever.
Frank Warren lays it out. Jake Paul may think he's ready, but AJ is in a league of his own. This is not a circus. Joshua's preparation, skill, and knockout power are real. Jake must believe in himself, but against AJ, that confidence may not last past the first serious punch. Danger has a name, and it's Joshua.
It's a dangerous fight. Of course, it's a dangerous fight, but I'm not here to be there selling their show. I've got no interest in the fighters from that perspective. I just think that he is a licensed boxer. He trains. He knows what he's getting involved with. He's not an idiot. and he knows what he's going to be up against, but he must believe in himself to do.
Tony Bellew cuts straight to the chase. If AJ decides to step in, the fight is entirely his to control. Jake Paul, despite all the hype, is completely outmatched in every area besides power, experience, and ring IQ. AJ doesn't just fight, he dictates the pace, the distance, and the outcome. The phrase, "as long as Josh wants it to last," isn't exaggeration, it's fact. Paul is entering a storm he cannot weather. This isn't entertainment, it's a stark warning. Joshua can end it in a blink, making Jake Paul's confidence look laughable. The gulf between them is terrifyingly wide.
Because if Anthony Joshua puts 10-ounce gloves on and gets in a boxing ring and Jake Paul is in the other corner, this won't last long. This will last as long as Josh wants it to last.
Sam Jones delivers a chilling warning. Jake Paul is not just facing a skilled boxer, he's facing a man capable of one-punch devastation. Anthony Joshua's right hand, the same weapon that floored Francis Ngannou, is a terrifying equalizer. Paul may be confident, but confidence won't withstand AJ's timing, accuracy, and raw power. This isn't a playful sparring session one clean hit could end everything. Fans joke, but in reality, this fight is life-changing for Jake in a way he probably hasn't fully grasped. Joshua is a fully loaded weapon in the ring, and Paul is dangerously underprepared for the consequences of stepping up.
Listen, we can all joke, but nobody wants any permanent damage to happen to Jake Paul. But if Anthony Joshua hits Jake Paul with the right hand he hit Francis Ngannou with, he could brown bread him.
Chisora doesn't sugarcoat. Anthony Joshua must dominate from bell one. If this fight stretches beyond 3 rounds, it's a shocker, and frankly, a credit to Jake Paul's luck rather than skill. AJ dispatched Francis Ngannou in 2 brutal rounds, showcasing the lethal precision and knockout power he brings every time. Jake Paul stepping in is essentially stepping into a gauntlet he's not built to survive. Chisora's point is clear. Joshua's methodical destruction leaves no room for error, hesitation, or ego. Paul is outclassed in every measurable way, and the clock is ticking. Joshua will dictate how fast this fight ends and how spectacularly Paul gets exposed.
No, I don't back Jack Paul. That means what is it you're doing? He has to smoke him in 3 rounds. The same way he did Ngannou. How many rounds was Ngannou?
2, second round.
Exactly. So he has to smoke him fucking.
Tony Bellew nails the reality of this matchup. Anthony Joshua is on a completely different level, physically, technically, and mentally. The size difference alone is staggering. AJ isn't just taller, he's a full 100 pounds heavier than Jake Paul, and every inch of that weight translates into raw, devastating power. You simply cannot bridge that gap by hype, social media fame, or clever marketing. Bellew's words highlight the inevitable. If the two enter a ring with regulation gloves, Joshua will dictate the fight from the opening bell, controlling distance, pace, and power. Jake Paul's bravado will evaporate the moment AJ lands clean, because he has never faced an athlete of this scale or skill. This isn't speculation, it's an unavoidable reality. Fans should understand that stepping into a ring with Joshua is like stepping into a storm. The outcome is almost predetermined. Jake's online fame and confidence won't translate to survival in the face of AJ's strength and precision.
Anthony Joshua, who's now 5 inches bigger than you, maybe more, or 4 or 5 inches, and about 100 pounds heavier. You just don't go from there right up to there. I don't believe it. And I won't believe it until the two of them got 10-ounce gloves on in a boxing ring. Because if Anthony Joshua puts 10-ounce gloves on and gets in a boxing ring and Jake Paul is in the other corner, this won't last long.
Derek Chisora doesn't sugarcoat a single detail. He lays it all out. Jake Paul simply doesn't have the physical tools to match Anthony Joshua. Excitement alone won't save him when he faces a fully prepared world-class heavyweight. Chisora paints a chilling image. This isn't speculation, it's a warning. Paul's bravado and social media hype meet the harsh reality of elite boxing. The fight isn't just a mismatch of skill, it's a mismatch of size, power, and experience. Fans may anticipate fireworks, but Chisora reminds us that one wrong punch from Joshua could land Paul straight in the hospital. The spectacle is undeniable, yet the potential for disaster overshadows the hype. In boxing, theatrics can only carry you so far, and Chisora makes it clear that Paul is stepping into a storm he's not prepared for.
In camp, living in camp, training with him day in, day out. And it made a big difference in the fight. So I think he knows that the way that he's going to improve is time in the gym and also the quality of sparring.
Johnny Nelson is setting the stage for what could be a historic and terrifying night for Jake Paul. He paints a picture of AJ as a relentless force of nature, capable of turning the fight into a one-sided nightmare. The anticipation is palpable. The world knows AJ's power and precision, and now everyone is buzzing over what Nelson calls the new ending. This isn't hype, it's a reality check. Paul is stepping into a storm with no experience against a natural heavyweight of AJ's caliber. Fans are on the edge of their seats, social media is erupting, and pundits are already predicting the fallout. Every jab, every uppercut from AJ could be catastrophic. The boxing universe is watching, stunned at the audacity of Paul, but fully aware that AJ's skill and knockout power make this fight dangerously one-sided. Nelson's insight elevates the tension. This is more than a fight, it's a potential headline-making annihilation.
Who is the bigger in this equation? Not for me. Maybe for MVP, Nikisa, Jake Paul, but not for me. I've kind of marked it or titled it David versus Goliath just because of the size difference. Like, Jake Paul's a big guy. He is. He's 6'1", 220, probably fights around, the 200-pound mark. AJ is an enormous guy. Like, he's a big unit. And I think Jake realized that when they came face to face. I don't know if that was the first time they've ever come that close. I'm sure they've met behind the scenes, but I think there was a realization from Jake Paul, like, fuck, this is a big dude. It's a very big dude who isn't coming to play. Like, there was no play with AJ.
Eddie Hearn leaves no room for doubt. This is an extremely dangerous night for Jake Paul. Hearn makes it clear AJ will not hold back, he won't play games, and there is zero chance of mercy. Paul is walking into a heavyweight storm where every punch carries career-altering consequences. Fans are glued to screens, hearts racing because one clean shot from AJ could end the fight instantly or even put Paul in serious medical danger. Hearn's words add gravity and hype. This isn't just another spectacle, it's a brutal, high-stakes clash where survival and legacy hang in the balance. Analysts are buzzing, social media is on fire, and the boxing world collectively holds its breath. The stakes couldn't be higher, the power gap couldn't be wider, and the anticipation couldn't be more intense. This is AJ at his fiercest, and Paul is facing the ultimate test of courage and skill.
What Anthony Joshua had done to Francis Ngannou, he went out there and iced him in a couple of rounds. A guy coming from a different discipline, well, this kid's coming from another level. You know, white collar boxing in 2018, gone through the mill, and the only boxer really that he's actually boxed, a legitimate boxer he got beat by, and that was in Tommy Fury. Now he's
the boxing world is still reeling from what happened at Miami Airport. Jake Paul, who has built his career on bravado and YouTube stunts, has just been put on the map of real danger by Anthony Joshua. Every punch AJ throws isn't just a jab or a hook, it's a statement. This isn't showboating, this isn't hype, this is a natural heavyweight using his full arsenal to remind everyone why he's a two-time world champion and Olympic gold medalist. Paul might have thought he was ready, but after that hit, the reality hit harder than any uppercut could. Fans are debating, analysts are shocked, and the social media universe is on fire. Questions about Paul's next move, his recovery, and whether he can ever step back into a real fight swirl endlessly. AJ has made it crystal clear he doesn't play games. For Paul, this is a career-defining moment, whether he bounces back or becomes a cautionary tale in boxing history. The question now is, will Jake Paul learn from this, or has AJ just delivered a warning that the world won't forget? Smash that like button, drop your hot takes in the comments, and subscribe to follow every shocking update from this epic showdown. You don't want to miss what happens next.